I'm Bethany White from Dark Avenue Film.
And I'm Patrick Prellan from Dark Avenue Film.
Now, lovely to see you guys again. So just tell us, first of all, remind us about Dark Avenue Film. How long have you been filmmaking here?
I think it's been, is it 2 years now?
Getting on for 2.5.
Getting on for 2.5,
Yeah.
actually, yeah. So, yeah, we've been set up since
November 2018.
November 2018 and been making films and things ever since.
And what's the Isle of Man like as a place to make film?
It's absolutely brilliant, really. And I mean that very sincerely. I mean, like, the big problem with any film project is usually how you're going to get it funded. You know, these things are expensive because you need to pay people and equipment and all that stuff, and it's not cheap. And what we've got here on the Isle of Man are lots and lots of opportunities. There are lots of brilliant sort of organisations like Arts Council and Culture Vannin that will help support you. You know, they've helped support us since, you know, before we had anything to show for it, and they gave us the ability to kind of prove ourselves as filmmakers, and that's what the Isle of Man has to offer. You know, we speak to lots of people we know who are in England, and the big thing is, well, how are we going to raise this? You know, there's such a huge population over there, and so many people who have, you know, 20, 30 years experience in filmmaking who are going for the money, and they're the people that are going to get it. Whereas on the Isle of Man, you do get a chance to really do what you want to do and set yourself up.
But it's interesting you say that, because really you'd not long been together as a company when a pandemic struck. So actually it's been an interesting time to actually forge a sort of path in this industry, hasn't it? How has it affected you, the pandemic, then, Bethany?
It was a challenge to start with. When we all first started up, we thought, OK, we're not going to be able to make anything for quite a long time, because film is one of those things where you really need multiple people to come together, usually in one room, to make a film. And obviously that was going to be quite challenging. But for us, it really opened an opportunity to experiment and try something different. And something that inspired us to really get going with that was the Arts Council's COVID-19 Resilience Fund, which, you know, it was such a big support to us. Culture Vannin put out projects for creative artists during the lockdown as well, to help keep everyone moving and keep everyone inspired. And we put together a project for the Arts Council Fund, which was a remotely shot film which ended up being called An Endless Summer, which we collaborated with an actor we know in England called Freya Kingsley, and we basically sort of created our own way of making films to produce this thing. We shot a test film version of it to start with, which was basically me and Patrick at home shooting a version of this film with me in it instead of Freya, and then we sent all the equipment over to Freya with this test film, and she basically shot it herself, copying the shots that we'd done, and then we put it all together without ever being in the same room with her.
That is extraordinary. I mean, it's so innovative. And had she ever done any filmmaking herself, or has she just been sort of in front of the cameras?
No, I mean, the amazing thing about Freya is that we met Freya at university when she was studying archaeology. So it wasn't even like she was a drama student, but she wanted to get into acting, and she acted in my second year film project where she played a werewolf. And the first time we ever worked together, she had to murder me dressed as a werewolf. So that, you know, and somehow we're still friends with her after that. And we've worked with her lots before, and she's fantastic, and she's a really hard worker. And you know, we love working with her, and we hadn't had the opportunity for a long time. And so this project came up, and we thought, you know, Freya's story is a really great one to look at, and we knew that she would do a great job, and she'd never done any filmmaking before, but she was really up for the challenge of it, you know, and the benefit that we had was lots of time, and so we could perfect things, as it were. She became very adept at it, really, at filmmaking by the end of it. So yeah, no, she's done a fantastic job with it.
So tell us a little bit about the story behind Endless Summer then. What's it about?
Freya herself, because it's a docudrama, which, I mean, when we originally did it, we hadn't really been classifying it as that, and then we got to the end of it and we realised how much of Freya had come through in it, so it's now classified as a docudrama, but it's basically following a young mother who's not long had a child. It's about... How old was Lila when we were making it? Like,
I think she's about 10 months.
10 months when we were making it. So she's had 10 months with her new baby, and just as she's preparing to go back to work, everything shuts down. And so it then becomes, she has this elongated period of time again. And then things seem to start lifting again, and then she has to think about going back to work after she's sort of had all this time with her child. So it's sort of the exploration of those feelings as well.
And it's clearly struck a chord, hasn't it, Bethany? Because it's been extremely well received, this film.
It's been doing pretty well for itself, yeah. We've been putting it into film festivals globally, and so far it's placed in, is it 13 now?
Yeah, 13, 14, I think. 13,
yeah, around that number of festivals, and it's even won a few awards along with that as well. So it's placed in Best COVID Film in a few festivals, and...
Well, won Best Actress.
Yes.
Freya won Best Actress, and we won Best Editing as well. So it's done really well for itself. I think it's people have responded very well to it. I think it's been nice because it's obviously been something that's come around in the right place at the right time. Mm-hmm. I think that was a big thing once we finished it, was when do we release it? We sort of had this debate of, do we wait until the lockdowns are sort of less fresh in people's minds so people can think about what their experiences were like in it, or do we release it now when we're still going through it, so that it's sort of telling the current stories? And so in the end we sort of went, we've got to strike while the iron's hot with it, and I think that's one of the reasons why it's really done well, is because I think it's very relevant. But I think also that the themes and ideas in it are things that will always be relevant. The idea for parents, going back to work after all that time off with your child, and the feeling of how can I leave them and do this? I think that's something that's always been an issue, always been something that people have felt, and now it's just these extraordinary circumstances have sort of made it even more extreme, as it were.
And I think as well, maybe one of the reasons it's been very well received, as we were talking before about the fact that the innovation behind this has meant that you're actually standing out against other films that have been made in the pandemic, aren't you?
Yeah, it's been... the whole thing was a bit of an experiment when we started it. We didn't know how the film was going to turn out, whether this method of making a film was actually going to work. And so part of the process of it, we've put together some behind-the-scenes films, which we'll be releasing in the near future, sort of documenting this process of how we've created a film, which we very much wanted to make with a filmic look to it, rather than... There were some incredible projects that were made through Zoom and things like that, and it's been amazing to see the creativity that's come out of the challenging situation that we all found ourselves in. But we wanted to make something that still had a cinematic style to it. So we shot it on an iPhone, but we used some Moment lenses as well, which sort of did some of the hard work, so that Freya didn't have to worry too much about the technical side of things as well. But yeah, no, it's really found its place now, and we're very proud of how the film itself actually turned out in the end.
And which, again, is a great thing for the Isle of Man, isn't it? Because it's another moment that is sort of putting us on the map again for filmmaking.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's been really nice whenever it gets into festivals. They sort of release the list, and it will sort of say the title of the film and the director, but then the country of origin. And it's been fantastic seeing, alongside films from America and India and all over Europe, to see the Isle of Man there as well, amongst these huge nations with, these big film industries, to see us alongside it. It's been really... makes you feel proud, really, doesn't it?
I'm sure it does. And obviously the festival circuit itself has had to adapt in the pandemic. It might be a bit frustrating for you not being able to actually go to the festivals, but you can still at least get out there, can't you? Because a lot of them are going online, aren't they?
Yeah, that's one of the... In some ways, it's a bit of a benefit that we can have access to these festivals. There's a festival that we're going to be in, which is in New York, which would be quite pricey to travel to if we were doing it any other time. But with it being online online this year, it means that we can attend and be there, even if it's not literal and in person. We can still participate in it.
Mm-hmm. And this is the Socially Relevant Film Festival, isn't it? Is that one that sort of means something a bit more to you? It's got some great patrons, hasn't it, this festival?
Yes, yeah. So some of its patrons are Martin Sheen and Erin Brockovich, the lawyer, rather than Julia Roberts. But yeah, no, that's a fantastic one, because the way that it sort of has been structured in terms of the festivals we've got in, the early ones we got into were sort of monthly film festivals, and those are, when you're starting out with a film, they're great things to build sort of a sense of how the film's going to go, because they come out every month, and so you're likely to get placed in them, and you go, okay, this film has merit, and then you build up a number of them, and then the annual ones comes along, and the annual ones are the sort of the scary ones. Are we going to make the leap from the monthly ones up to the annual ones? And we've thankfully have done that. And Socially Relevant is very exciting, because it's the first opportunity that people will have to see the film publicly, because it's its world premiere, basically, and so people who want to see the film can now see it. It's an opportunity for people to see and celebrate the film now, which is really exciting.
So let us know when then people can actually see this.
So the festival itself is the week of the 15th of March. The early bird tickets are on sale until it's the 1st of March that they go to the normal price. So the film website is ratedsrfilms.org, and if you search on Film Freeway for Socially Relevant Film Festival, then you can also get to the tickets there. So at the moment the single films are $5, or about £3.70 for a single film, or it's $30 for the all access, and that's about £22 odd. And I'd say it's really worth getting the all access, because we've seen all the trailers are up on the Socially Relevant YouTube channel as well for the films that are going to be shown, and there's a really fantastic range. There's short films and feature films. There are some really important looking films, like particularly some of the documentary trailers that I've seen. They tackle really important subjects, and just to see what's going on out there in the world, even through times like this, it can be a really exciting experience to watch the whole array, and we really recommend it.
Are you going to put your glad rags on for watching it and pretend you're there? Roll out the red carpet at home?
Hopefully. Hopefully we will be able to do a Q&A for it as well. So that'd be quite exciting to get to talk about the film in front of other sort of like-minded people. And
is there a chance that the Martin Sheens and Erin Brockoviches of this world might be watching as well?
I hope
crossed,
so.
Yeah.
I hope so. I hope Martin gives us a call, and we'll see if we can fit him in something in the future.
I mean, he's the President of the United States of America.
He is,
so. So tell us as well, because Lost Wife has done very well for you as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's sort of gone out fairly recently as well. We did a big re-edit of it, and so that's gone out. We've so far, because that one's only just started like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's already won 3 awards. We heard back that we won 2 awards yesterday. We won Best Editing for Festival in Prague, and then yesterday we heard back from
Phoenix
in Toronto, and we won Best Editing in Prague, and we won Best Actor for Jeremy Theobald in Phoenix, and also Best Composer for Mira Royal. So that's done fantastically well, and we're very excited that it's on its way and doing so well, and we hope that it will, soon enough, there'll be an opportunity for people to see that as well.
Excellent. We'll keep an eye on that. And obviously, you are young filmmakers, and so I'd be interested in getting some advice from you for other young filmmakers who might want to follow in your footsteps. We know it's a hard slog. We know it's a hard graft and everything. Is it realistically then something that you can sort of make your life? Can it be just the one thing that you do? Does it work like that?
Yes, I think that it requires a lot of commitment. I think one of the things that we've found since we got set up here is that basically we've not stopped working the whole way through, and if it's what you really want to do, that's not a problem, to just keep working, and we keep diversifying what we're doing. If we're not making short fiction, we're making short documentaries, or we're writing scripts and things. And so there's a lot of variety you can get in it. And it's important to, I would say the main thing is to keep making things, because if you saw the stuff we made when we got started, it was absolutely terrible. and it doesn't mean anything. We all start off absolutely terrible. And the more you do, the better you'll get, the more you'll understand what works and what doesn't. And keep watching films as well. Keep watching this, everything, Even if you only want to make horror films, you should watch musicals and you should watch comedies and this and that, because see the things that work in everything, That's the important thing, because if you keep watching films and you keep enjoying things, that's going to keep your goals in mind, that, one day I want to do something like this. And I think for us, it's just been keeping those goals in mind, and also doing things that are fun as well. I think filmmaking it's a slog sometimes. Everything's, you're on set and it's very slow. The whole process is so slow. You wait for 15 minutes and you do one shot and the shot lasts 10 seconds and then it's another 15 minutes. And it's about keeping it all in perspective. But I think, yes, it's something that you can do as a career, as long as you can really keep that energy up for it.
Well, it's been brilliant seeing how you guys have progressed in such a short space of time, winning all these awards. It's amazing. Bethany, tell us where we can find out more about your work and see how you're getting on.
So the best channels for us are Facebook and Instagram. We're always updating and sharing what's going on with our latest projects. So on Facebook it's Dark Avenue Film, and Instagram it's dark.avenue.film. Please get in touch with us through those channels as well. We're always happy to meet up with people and chat about films, whether it's you're looking to get into film yourself or you just want to find out what it's like or just geek out a little bit. Do give us a message and we'd love to connect with others in the community.
Excellent. Well, keep us posted. We wish you all the best. I mean, to be fair, you don't need our wishes. You're obviously winning everything under the sun anyway, but all the best with the Socially Relevant Festival as well, and we hope to see you on the other side of that Q&A.
Thank you.
Thank you.